Hello, and welcome to another episode of Turn It Up. Appreciate everybody. I'm trying to get a quick response on this. I'm going into do my Ben's Next 10, and I wanted to go over that with everybody. First of all, I'm going to make this quick because there's other things I want to talk about other than Ben's Next 10, and I want to get it in on this episode just to kind of talk about things that I think are relevant to my world of music, and get to that. Appreciate everybody's kindness on the Bigfoot topic. That was nice. I do have my bass because I'm doing Ben's next top 10 bass players, and next time it'll be Ben's next top 10 drummers, and then I'm going to move on to guitar players, and I've got some special guests that I'm going to add on that, and we're going to get on to the Ben's top 10 vocalists, and I look forward to some guests on that. I do want to do some other Bigfoot episodes, and get some guests on that too that have some stories that they would like to share. And once again, off of one day of posting that, I've gotten like 10 people share their Bigfoot story with me, or like a lot of them were like me, and they're not going to commit to the fact that it's Bigfoot. They just don't know what it was. But still, I thought that was pretty cool, and big round of applause for everybody that wants to talk about that. There ain't something that you want to talk about. But first things first. I'm going to get to the winner of the JBL contest, and I can't believe that no one else got the hint that I give. My wife's over there pointing at herself because, of course, she did, but she's got inside information and she can't participate in this. Yeah. She, babe, if you want a set of headphones, I'll just get you a set, all right? But, so the hint was one of my favorite bands that fall in the hair metal genre. I've seen them live more than any other band. And the bass player plays Heavenly. So for those of you who didn't get that,
how I love the way you move and the sparkle in your eyes. There's a color deep inside like blue suburban sky. When I come home late at night, you're in bed asleep.
Now is it making sense to you? Now are you getting it? Now are you going, gosh darn it, I should have known the answer to that. And I thought the Heavenly So the person who did get it, Brandy Lyons, congratulations on guessing Jerry Dixon from Warrant. That was the correct answer. Jerry Dixon from Warrant was number 11 on Ben's Next 10 bass players, and she got it. And I thought that it was going to be a real easy guess, I thought, like, well, everybody's going to jump on this one because this one's, I give it away in the hint. But evidently, I did not. But congratulations to Brandy. Brandy, you will be getting a set of JBL headphones. Thanks for participating and thanks for guessing right. But now that I've said that, a lot of you people are going to be extremely upset. Because a lot of your guesses that you guessed were all around number 11, but you didn't hit number 11. So here we go with number 11, Mr. Jerry Dixon, and you heard an example of his playing. So I'm not gonna do a whole lot of playing today like I did on my top 10, because like I said, I got some other stuff that I want to talk about. So I'm not gonna play on every single person's thing. Boo me. I play when I want to play. So Warrant was a huge influence to me. Jerry Dixon was a huge influence to me as far as bass playing goes. And the guy plays with great melody, plays with great rhythm, has interesting choices of bass lines, something that a lot of people would not play, but he plays a really good bass line. He plays with good groove. Stand-up player, can't take nothing away from him. Does he do anything spectacular? No, he plays bass really well. And sings back up, plays in a great band, writes great material. So Jerry Dixon was number 11 on Ben's Next 10. Next at number 12, and I'm not going backwards on this, I'm just counting down from 11. Number 12, the man himself, to me, influenced all the bass players, generations of bass players and generations to come, the one and only Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath. And Geezer just played terrific. I mean, just always had great bass lines, liked to play the pentatonic box, liked to just play heavy with a heavy hand, played some of the darkest stuff. Great songwriter, great music writer, teamed up with his soulmate early on, and Tony Iommi and created a great band. Ozzy did his part, but even after Ozzy, Ronnie James Dio came in, did his part, and everybody else that they played with along the way. Black Sabbath is Black Sabbath for a reason. Great core members. Geezer, just a great bass player. The man always dressed in black. Great band, great bass player. Moving on, number 13, Kip Winger. And why there was a lot of in Winger songs, there was also a lot of there's a lot of great things in Winger music, and a lot of great orchestration, a lot of great songwriting and music writing and talent inside Winger. Kip Winger, great stage performer, great singer, great bass player, great arranger. Look, and if a lot of people are they're gonna have their little comment about
Kip Winger? Why?
because let's see, he played with Alice Cooper. He was the bass player in Alice Cooper. He played in Winger, who's recorded multiple albums, still recording great albums. If you haven't checked out Seven, check out Seven. Great album. Still writes well, still stage performs well, still sings, still plays bass, and he's a highly underrated bass player because, yeah, in the videos he danced with his bass. He was selling albums. As far as talent-wise goes, the guy is incredible. He's an incredible bass player. Look, there's nothing I need to defend Kip Winger on. The guy directed and wrote an orchestra, and if you got a musical mind and comprehension to write an orchestra, then you've got all the talent in the world. Kip Winger, great bass player. Moving on to the next guy at 14, and this guy is just awesome bass player. And what their band did for heavy metal, I think, changed the whole face of heavy metal, and that's Rex Brown. Rex Brown from Pantera, just phenomenal. I mean, I'm going to set this bass down right now because, like I said, if not, I'm going to end up playing along to every song, and I got to get through this because I want to talk about other things after this. But I want to do everybody due justice and have time to talk about what I think of them. Rex Brown and Pantera, to me, are one of the bands that came along, just like Black Sabbath came along and changed the face of music. So did Pantera. Pantera added a country, southern boogie element to heavy metal, which it much needed. I think at the time, the metal and thrash genre was kind of stuck in a rut, and I think Pantera brought them out. And a lot of that has to do with Rex Brown. He's probably the unsung hero in Pantera because Phil Anselmo is such a large character, and of course Dimebag Dimebag is Dimebag, and Vinnie Paul was Vinnie Paul, but Rex Brown kind of just always hung back there and just locked it down. And Rex Brown, terrific bass player, and all the projects that Rex Brown's done afterwards. Rex Brown's got a musical mind like nobody else. Rex Brown at 14. At 15, I'm going with Jeff Pilson from Dokken. Of course, I make no bones about it on my drummer list and anything else. Dokken's a huge influence on me musically, one of my favorite bands. Jeff Pilson had a huge hand in writing the music for all of Dokken's songs. It's not just George Lynch, and George will tell you Jeff's just as big of a part of that as anybody else is. Jeff Pilson also has his hands in producing. Jeff Pilson now plays in Foreigner, but Jeff Pilson's been in 1,000,001 bands, TNA, everything, and every time he just plays great bass. Jeff Pilson's a great singer too, great writer, great orchestration within a band, and just a really good cat to get along with. From the records of everybody talking about it, everybody just says he's just an easy guy to get along with. And from his interviews and stuff, he seems like that guy. But like I said, he's on the road with Foreigner right now. And you don't get that Foreigner gig unless you're talented. And Jeff Pilson is talented. Moving on to number 16. Under number 16, this guy's probably next to Geddy Lee. I'd probably say when you think of bass, most people think of this guy. Just the coolest cat in the world. he's no longer with us, and I can't say that I wish he wasn't, because it just something like the guy was going to live forever. And it's Lemmy from Motorhead, y'all. Lemmy. Well, I wouldn't say Lemmy's a traditional bass player in any stretch of the imagination. He had his own unique sound, he had his own unique tone, and played bass in his own unique way. But he did bring something to bass that nobody else brought, and in my mind, that deserves props to it too. Just great, thunderous. Played a lot of uniform chords on the bass and drove it. Had heavy distortion. Played loud. Loved to play loud, but great timing, great sense of rhythm, and added a lot to the world of bass. There's bass players that play bass traditionally, and I respect, and I probably tend to go more towards that, but I also appreciate innovators on bass too, people who take bass to another level and do their own thing and find their own way. The bottom line to playing any instrument is you don't want to be a carbon copy of somebody. Some people do, and that's fine. But to me, I'd like to take every one of these influences that I'm naming off and sprinkle a little bit of every one of them into what I'm playing and come up with my own voice. And I think you should do that on any instrument. You shouldn't be a carbon copy cut out of anybody else. There's one Randy Rhoads, and Randy Rhoads should be Randy Rhoads. But that's not to say you can't take something from Randy Rhoads and find your own voice with it. Zakk Wylde did very well with that. There's been other people that's come and gone that's used his influence and found their own voice. And to me, that's what you should do. You should find your own voice. Moving on from Lemmy, number 19, Mr. Ben Wheels. Guess this one, and you're that close, Ben, that close. At number 19, I'm going to give it to John Mung from Dream Theater. As far as a technician and an ability, John Mung should probably be number one. Band writes great music, very progressive. John Mung plays the fire out of a bass. There's nothing the man can't do on it. Great guy, very humble, traditional humble person. Great bass player, plays great lines. And like I said, I'd love to talk on John Mung more, but I'm going to move along, and because I got something else I want to talk about. At number 18, I'm going with the man himself, the original bass player. Wrote the coolest bass line probably ever. It's been recorded, played more. It was the MTV intros for I think it was MTV News. Dave Ellefson from Megadeth. Ben Wheels also guessed that one. Like I said, you were dancing all around it, Ben. Dave Ellefson, terrific bass player, great bass player, played with a pick, played great lines, really added a depth to Megadeth that needed to be there. Terrific bass player, inspired me, inspired many others. Great bass player, Dave Ellefson. Moving on to number 19, and at number 19, I'm going with two people here. And you go, what? Two people? You can't do two people.
I do what I want.
That's right. I do what I want. The reason why I'm going with two people here is both of these guys play in the same band, and both of these guys have the same first name. But their bass playing, both of them are top notch. I'm going with Mike Starr and Mike Inez from Alice in Chains. So Starr had started it out with Alice in Chains, and everybody knows it. That dum 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 dum, just great bass lines all over it. Rain When I Die, great bass going on in there. Unfortunately, he lost his battle with drugs and alcohol, and it took him. But it didn't stop what he recorded, and what he recorded was great bass lines, great. I thought out of all the grunge bands, and look, people are going to hate me for this, and they're going to say whatever they want to say, but I was never big in Nirvana. Nirvana just didn't do it for me. It was too stripped down musically for me, I think is what it was as far as guitar-wise and stuff go at the time. And I never got into them. But Alice in Chains, from the get-go, was a band that I respected, and I just thought was great. They had a darkness about them like Black Sabbath does. They had a great tone. Singer was phenomenal. And the bass was predominant in every Alice in Chains song, and that drew my attention to it because the bass was so strong in every Alice in Chains song. But after Starr left, they got Inez in, and Inez is just a terrific bass player. He wrote terrific bass lines, loves to play linear lines, plays great sense of melody, great set of ears, plays with a pick, plays hard, digs into the strings, attacks the bass. But anyways, both the guys from Alice in Chains at 19 on my list. At number 20 is going to be a guy a lot of you don't know about. A lot of you've never probably dove off into this realm. And a lot of my music I like is overseas music, is from Switzerland and Spain and stuff, and it's a lot of the speed metal guys that are over there. This band's a huge influence on me. To me, they took what Iron Maiden and Judas Priest was doing and turned it up a notch and added some to it. I'm not going to say they turned it up a notch from Iron Maiden, because Iron Maiden turned it up a notch all on their own. But they went their own way with it, let's say. This band has recorded numerous studio albums, and this guy's been part of it ever since. And it's Marcus Grosskopf from Helloween. If you don't know who Helloween is, just go check out Keeper of the Seven Keys. Great album. Just go through the whole catalog of Helloween. You'll find something that you enjoy. They got the real high operatic vocals. I'll forewarn you. So if you're into the you're not going to get it there. Great speed playing, great band. Marcus, terrific bass player. He took what Steve Harris was doing, and you could tell that influenced him a lot. There's a lot of Steve Harris in what he plays, but like I said earlier in the video, you sprinkle a little bit of, you take from this one and you sprinkle it, and and you create your own thing. And Mark has done it well. And Mark is coming in at number 20 from the band Halloween. All right, moving on. Like I said, I had some other things I wanted to talk about, and so I went through this kind of faster than I probably wanted to or should have, and I like to play it along with every one of them. In the beginning, I know a lot of people think I just get on here and wing this, but it's not. I think about it during the week, and I write down notes, and I really try to think about what I'm going to say and what I'm going to do. And then I had a bunch of bass lines planned out, and I even went and learned a few that I was like, well, I'm not sure I know that song, so let me see what I can play that's similar to it and not, rip it off and not get in copyright trouble. But just to go forward with it, I cut it short because I wanted to talk about this because somebody asked me a question about it, and I was like, wait a minute. So somebody asked me the question, Ben, why do you play in a band? Is it for the money? They said, is it for the money? So let me tell you something, and some of my mentors in music and some of my friends in music and they'll say the same thing on this. Ask Keith Waters, ask Brad Warren, ask Mike Curtis, ask Marvin Talley, ask any of these guys that are playing in the band. If you're in a band and you're playing in a band for money, you've picked it for the wrong reason. Because there is no money, and I mean you can make some decent money and work your tail off doing it, and have heartache and frustration every single day of the week doing it. First of all, keeping a band together is harder than anybody in this world will ever understand. It's not a job. Nobody comes in and signs, fills out an application. It's not like that. It's not a job. I can't give, if you don't show up, I can't go, well, you're getting a point for today, and then add up your points at the end of the week and terminate you. That's not how that works. You build up loving relationships with these people, the people you become family with, people you become friends with, and then for some reason or another, they decide they don't see the same vision or the same direction that you do. So they veer a different way and you veer a different way, and then you're out of band. Things in life happen. Stuff comes along. You lose band members to that. Heartaches come along. Hardships come along. But if you think that you're joining a band, or if you think this is ever going to be easy, it's never going to be easy. It's the hardest thing, one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life is keeping a band together. There's many days that I just want to throw it down and I don't want to do it no more. The reason why I play in a band, and I'm pretty sure it goes for most anybody in a band, when you're in your 19s and 20s, sure, you're dreaming of making it big and going, well, you know what, I'm going to have a number one selling album. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to tour the world. I'm going to make money. But you see us old cats still playing in bands, still doing it. There's only one reason that we're doing it. It's because we love it. We love music. We love playing in a band. There's a communication, there's a camaraderie that you get in playing in a band. There's, I like to call it music vocabulary, where not a word is spoken, yet you're having some deep, intelligent conversations. But to break it down simple to you, so I get a gig, and very seldom do you get a gig anymore that's a Friday and Saturday night gig. It used to be always you had a Friday, Saturday night gig. 2 nights booked at the same place, so you could take your gear out there and leave it set up, play both nights, tear it down on the Sunday, take your stuff home. Doesn't work that way now because why? Well, one, drunk people love to sing karaoke. I mean, I'm not going to make that up. Drunk people love to sing. Two, the owner don't have to pay the karaoke company as much as they pay the band. 3, they don't have to worry about the drama that comes with the bands and the bands being set up and the people in the bar not liking the bands or whatever. So you're hauling your gear out for one night, and this gear is not easy to haul. None of my gear is easy to haul. I play now. My band sets up and plays at the same place every week, and thanks to Charlie Morris for letting us do that. He lets us come down there and play at his garage, and he's been through it with me. He's stuck with us. We've been through an ever-changing lineup. Instruments changing. When I started this band, I was on guitar. We lost our drummer. Joseph Wells, an extremely talented drummer, left. Our bass player left. Multiple changes in the band. Jonathan Bates, I can't thank him enough for everything. And when I say they left the band, I have no hate in my heart for that. There was stuff that happened in their lives, and they've moved and they've changed, and we're still great friends. But I felt the need to keep the band going, to keep the drive going. I wasn't ready to give up on it. But don't get me wrong, there's been many days where I was like, hey, you know what, I'm sick of it. But I've kept going, and Mike Curtis and Jim Lyons have always been there, and we've flexed it and changed. I've went from drums to bass to guitar, drums, bass, guitar, drums, bass. And then Mike took up the guitar, and I didn't have to worry about the guitar, so drums, bass. We've had other drummers come in. Jimmy Cross has come in and stepped in and helped us on drums. Mike Steffens has come in and helped us on bass. We've been through an ever-changing lineup, and it just never ends. What I'm getting at is, if you don't love this, you're not going to do it. You're just not going to do it. If you don't have the love in your heart for music, and let me add this too, Mr. Brandon Atkins came in originally, helped us on bass, and like I said, life changes, and he went a different direction. But I really appreciate what Brandon did. Brandon came in when we were at the lowest, and probably not at our best point to help a young person out in the band. We were all struggling with the loss, still reeling from the loss of the other members, and we didn't have our stuff together. We weren't sure of the direction we were going, and I can't thank you enough, Brandon. You at least showed us that we can move on and we can carry on. And this is not a new story. This is just my band story. This is not a new story for anybody. Every band around the world has this same trouble. Keith Waters will tell you 1,000,001 stories about the bands and the band changes and what's happened. Brad Warren will tell you the same thing. Eric Woods will tell you, if you play in music and you play in a band, you're going to have troubles and complications, and people go, well, why do these big bands break up? Well, life changes people. And I realize this now that I'm older, and I'm in a different spot in my life. but I didn't understand it for a long time. And I used to like, well, you're a fool. You don't want to play in this band, you're a fool. Life changes people. And not everybody has the same direction as I do. I've been fortunate and lucky enough to find two people that have the same direction as me and who've rode with me the whole time. Mike Curtis and Jim Lyons. I just can't say enough about them two guys. They've been by my side and helped pick me up when I'm down, and I've helped pick them up when they were down. And they've had health issues, and I've had health issues, and there's been things that's come and gone. But you know what? They've stuck by our side. And Charlie and Kay Morris, tremendous support of the band, giving us a place to play, even when we're just making some of the most ungodly racket that you could ever want to hear. And I know that they've been sitting there sometimes going, why did we let this band play? But I love bass, and I love playing bass. But I also play drums, and I play drums in my band. And people are like, well, why do you play drums in your band if you love bass? Well, I love my band more than I love playing bass. I love my band more than I love doing anything. And right now, me playing drums is what makes the band work, and I've progressively gotten better at it. So I'm really enjoying playing drums too. It's not like I hate playing drums. I really love playing drums. I started out wanting to be a drummer. But that's just part of what goes into playing in a band, you know. If these changes wouldn't have happened, I would still been playing lead guitar and playing guitar in the band, and would have never even looked at another thing. But like I said, we lost a drummer. Couldn't find a drummer. The drummers that we found didn't want to play every weekend. They want them, and they didn't. We play originals. We like to play originals. We mix in some covers, but we like to write music, and that's what I'm about in life. That's what I'm saying. Not everybody sees my musical direction. I'm done with trying to go play at the bars. I'm done with trying to make change at a bar, or fight with a bar owner, or getting ripped off, underpaid. Bon Scott said it best. I mean, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. And I want to write my material, and I want to play for my friends and entertain, and we don't charge people to come see us. We don't make a nickel out of it. I've spent all this gear ain't cheap. I buy that from my working everyday job. I buy that. I've been blessed to have a wife that supports me and doesn't question it. If we got the money, let's go ahead and get it. You know, I've been blessed along the way with good friends, good times, and a tremendous love for music. People have supported that from day one. People have followed this band. I mean, when we started this, it was rocking every night. I had a group, and like I said, life changes, and some of the people who used to come every Saturday and listen to us play have other things. They've got kids that have grown up, and they've got ball games and rehearsals and stuff to go to, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I've made a whole extended family from the music that I've created, and I don't expect everybody to show up, and I don't expect everybody to dig my music. I've never worried about that. I'm making stuff that I love, that I enjoy, and if you happen to enjoy it too, well, that's awesome, and I appreciate it. But if you don't, that doesn't hurt my feelings. I've never. Another thing about being a musician, you've got to have thick skin. You got to have thick skin. People are not going to like it. You're going to have haters. You're going to have people that tell you you're doing it wrong. You're going to have people that tell you you're no good. You're going to have people that praise you, and you got to keep it level. You can't let your head swell up neither. You're going to have people tell you you're great. You're going to have people tell you you're going to be on top, but you got to keep it level. And the only way you'll ever keep it level is you have to love music. It has to be in here. You have to love music. It just really got to me, and I thought it was something that I needed to talk about. We all go through life changes. Life changes is every day. But one of the things that I've always had in my life, and I'm super glad that it's always been there, and I hope it never goes away, is music. Music's got me through a lot of hard times, a lot of good times, a lot of life. Some of my friends that I have are friends derived around music. Guys, if you ever see a band out playing, I hope you stop and think, what all have they done in their life and sacrificed in their life to be up there playing music? Because a lot of people think that we're up there playing because we want to be seen or we want some kind of ego trip. It's never been the case with me, and why some people may, but they won't be around long. I guarantee you this: if you start into music because you want your ego massaged, you will not be in music long. There's only one thing that's going to keep you in music, and that's the love for it. And I can guarantee you that. All I've got to say is, if you don't do anything this week, do one thing. Turn it up.